Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do kind of a different video today. I haven't done one of these in like a year. It's my series of talking about whatever. I usually put these out probably around the time when my reading derails and I go full mood reading mode. And I have hit that point and I am really enjoying it, to be honest. And so it's making me again do that thing where I think about how my reading is going, and because we're thinking about stuff for 2022, which is scary to say that number out loud, you know, that's coming. I'm starting to plan, like I'm starting to do my planner thing. So I'm a planner scheduler by trade, in case you didn't know that. So I want to plan my reading. I want to say, I'm going to read this book and this book in this month. And I always get to a certain point where I've done that too much and my brain freezes and it goes, oh, no, you're not. We're not reading any of that stuff. We're going to read this stuff over here. And it has nothing to do with whatever I was planning. So I'd already kind of reached this point last month when I was thinking about all the books that I wanted, that I still had currently reading, or all my currently reading on Goodreads, and I'd pushed them off. And again, I have one of my new carts. I have too many carts for this little room. But I have all the books that I've partially started. And I'm not worrying about any of those. They're all, I moved them off of my currently reading to back to read and a shelf that I set on hold. So those are all on hold that I have there. And I pulled a couple more that were on my shelf that I have partially read but I kept. And so they're kind of the same thing. So I put them all there, and maybe at some point I will do something with those next year and maybe pick up one here and there and try to get through them. But right now they are just on hold. And I have a couple more that might be joining that before the end of the year because I am just not getting to them. But I'm hoping I still have a couple weeks. I still have some time to make decisions on those. But this last week, I had plans that I was going to read one or two of the books that I've started earlier in the year, and I never finished. And I was like, I'm going to read these. No, my brain said, no, you're not doing that. So I've read a lot this week, like maybe not last night because my brain was a little fried from the night before, but I read a lot of things that I didn't plan to read, and I didn't plan on it. And so, but the thing is I felt such joy in picking up books and a couple series that I hadn't thought about in a long time that I've always meant to get back to or get into. And I'm like, why haven't I read this? I've owned this, like it was an ebook that I'd had for 4 years. I finally read it. It's by one of my favorite authors, but I just never got to it. So again, I'll go into what I read and what I did this week on my on my update video on Sunday. But I just wanted to kind of do a little this talking about whatever is kind of me putting out there that there are certain things I want to change in my reading again. Like I think I need to stop being like, I have to read this, because I was already starting to do that for next year. So next year I am planning on, this is kind of a spoiler for my goals, but one of my things is I want to do series. I have so many series. You guys have no idea how many series I have that is partially read, or I have the first book in the series. Again, you have seen some of my videos on my urban fantasy collection of books, and I'm coming up with ways to get through stuff to figure out if I really want to continue those books or to do something with those. But the problem is really I'm going to be looking at series. And I saw a great video, which I'll link down below, by Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Books. She's doing her series, another year of series about series. And so I missed it last year. I don't know how I missed it, but I'm so upset because I could have helped maybe a little bit in my series planning, because I did read a lot of series or things this year for series, but just maybe not as much. I don't know. We'll get to that. Point is that you can watch her video. It's a great idea of how to like focus on series, as in she has a kind of like a couple options on how you could do it and kind of join in with her hashtag. And I will probably be doing that just to help myself, because again, I do want to focus on series in the next year. But my problem is, coming back to the mood reading, is I was finding myself already thinking, okay, I'm going to read this book and this book in January, and then I'll read this one in February, and then this one, I'll read the next book come March for this one. And I was already starting to plan my reading. So that's not working. So, because again, I'm very much moody reading right now. I'm just picking up books that I didn't plan on at all. And I'm trying to still put books in that I planned that were in my pile of possibilities for December, but not as much as that. And it could be because I DNF'd a couple more books. And as I said, I'm definitely, as I said, I put a whole lot of books on hold, but I'm DNFing. Even when I get pretty far into a book, I'm just like, if I don't want to read this and I'm putting it down and I'm not focusing on that, I don't want to read that. So, okay. So I think really what I'm trying to say here is, as much as I'm going to probably do the goals video and I'm going to say, these are all the books I want to read, I'm not putting pressure on myself. I have to read these every month. Like this, I have to do so many series books a month. I will still use my board, which is down on the floor over there, where I will probably change my prompts up of what I'm reading. I still want to keep track of how many series books I'm reading, which starting, continuing, and finishing. Because to me, I own more series than I do any other kind of book. And I'm talking any genre thing. Most of them are fantasy and sci-fi, urban fantasy, paranormal romance, historical romance, and I have a few historical fiction series that I want to read. But I still want to count those. But I wanted to also try to get some of the other books. Like, I didn't read as much historical fiction this year as I was planning. And I think it's just because I still got caught up so much in other people's readathons and read-alongs and stuff. And I again, those are great events and they do spark things. I just need to, again, back off and not read as many selections. As much as I love Victober and Jane Austen July and even nonfiction November, I just have to back off and just say, okay, I'm gonna read one or two things, and then the rest of the month I read whatever else I want. I just and again, I have to stop getting books from the library. I've just not fully get rid of, stop that. But cut down my list back down to the 5 that I was supposed to be doing. I've had it as high as 20 that I was waiting for. Anyway, I'm just rambling here because I think what I'm trying to say and why I just kind of wanted to get it out on this video and not on my update, because my updates are long enough, is that I want to focus on going back to my mood reading roots and letting myself binge a series, and I don't binge very often. Like, I will binge a book or two and then I will take a break and read something else, because again, I do like to switch things up. I read a book and a novella in one series, and I already know that I need to take a break now. Okay, I've read that one, I'm good, but now I'm ready for the next book. I'll probably pick it up in the next month or two, because I want to finish that, complete that series up to how far it is. But I also don't need to read it back to back, because I picked up something else that's kind of same but different, and so I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining this very well. And maybe other mood readers are totally going, yeah, that's what I do. I maybe read a couple things by the same author and then I'll switch and then I'll come back to them at some point, but it's not, I just don't want to be too focused on anything right now. And I think that's part of it. It's probably all related to the stress I'm having with the way my job, it's kind of up in the air, because I still don't know any details of how things are going. I still have a job. That's not the problem right now. It's more of, how are they going to change my job? And they haven't had that talk with me about, how that's going to go yet. So I don't know if I'm going to get that before the end of the year. I don't know. There's hopefully, because that's when the full transition is. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, I just wanted to put it out there that, I'm going to try, even if I do the goals videos and I do say these are the series I want to do, because I really want to focus on my series. I think Serious About Series is a great, way to look at it. I think that's going to help me. I was already looking at, I have lists upon lists on spreadsheets of books that I want to read and do stuff. And so I have one other kind of goal thing that I want to do that's new this year, that I want to do those, but I'm not gonna say I have to read everything that I put on that list too. So again, I'm doing the whole planning, but I'm trying to yank myself back and say, you don't have to do all that. That's kind of the main thing about this video. The only other thing I want to kind of put out there is that I think I'm going to do, I just rearranged, you can't tell, but I rearranged some of my bookshelves. I pulled off all the contemporary books, except for a few contemporary romances. I kept those because I just bought those for something I'd like to try later. But I have a lot of contemporary books that I've bought since I joined BookTube, because I'd gotten out of contemporary like about 10 years ago, and I really wasn't reading anything contemporary at all. And then I joined BookTube in 2017, and I bought a lot of books that most of them are all used from bookstores or from library book sales when I used to be able to go to those. We haven't got ours back yet. Anyway, but there's a lot of books that I don't know if I want to read now. Like I have like almost 30 books that I'm like kind of iffy about. So I might do one of those trash your TBRs videos. You guys let me know if you want me to do that. Again, they're mostly what I would say are literary fiction, or, you know, they're contemporary books. They're just not what I read normally. The only kind of contemporary books I really like are urban fantasies. So, you know. Anyway, but so I don't know. I'm probably gonna do a trash or TBR. I've never done one of those videos, but I think I want to get rid of a lot of these books. I think I've just decided, as much as there was a lot of hype around them and a lot of people like them, I just don't think they're for me. But I think I want to still read a few of them. So maybe I'll do one of those videos in the next week or so. Let me know if that sounds good to you. Are you guys mood readers? Are you guys like that too, where you just reach a point where you've just tried to plan too much and then you just can't? Again, I am still reading. I'm also DNFing really quickly. Well, not really quickly. I still read quite a bit into the book before I DNF, but I'm pretty much making decisions going, no, this is not the time for this, no. And I am also very much, you know, as I said, I just read a couple books this week that were not even on my radar that I was going to pick up anytime soon. But I'd had them for several years, and I'm like, why haven't I read this? And I just felt like it. And it was totally not what I expected, but I still enjoyed reading it. Like, it wasn't, I thought it was going to be one thing, and it was really not. But it was still fun, which I'll explain tomorrow. Anyway, so I don't know. This is just kind of a little talking. So if you guys want to tell me any any tricks about mood reading like you do you have a tendency to change genres, like you read one book and then you have to change over, or do you actually binge a little bit and then switch over, or do you kind of pick a book and then it has one kind of detail that kind of reminds you of another book in a different kind of genre or series, and then you go to that one? Or what do you guys do? Again, my mood reading has been, since joining BookTube, has been kind of all over the place. And again, I used to be just a full mood reader. So I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think about this, and definitely let me know if you want me to do one of the your TBRs videos, because I think I should do that, because I want to get rid of those books, I think, or get rid of most of them and just keep the ones that everybody really loves. So you'll have to let me know if you want me to do that. So anyway, that's it. That's kind of a little rambly video, again, talking about whatever. Number 12. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye.